Hello everyone, welcome back to the GlideScript, and this is day 12 of our ServiceNow scripting masterclass series, and together we are on the no code to pro code journey. In the last video we started with the function and we saw the basics of function, how we can declare a function, how we can call a function, and how a function returns and send a value back. Today we are going to study few more topics about function. We will start today's topic with the scope. What is scope? In this example, you can see I have declared a variable store name and given some value inside this variable, that is string type. Then I have declared a function here, and that function name is show store name. Inside this function, I have printed the variable store name. At line number 7, I am calling this function. If I'll run this program, you will see the output, the GlideScript store. Okay, let me declare another function, and this time the function name is show store. And what I'm doing, I'll console.log. I can call store name. Outside this function, this time I will call show store 2. And let me clear it first. And if I'll run, it will print 2 times. So I have declared a variable outside this function, that is store name, and I call this variable inside the function number 1 as well and inside the function number 2 as well, and it is working perfectly. But it will not the case always. That's the topic we are going to study. So before going in details, let me give you one example so we'll understand it easily. Let's say there are 2 shops on the same street in your market. Shop A has a worker named Rahul, and shop B also has a worker named Rahul. Both worker has the same name, but they are 2 different people. If you walk into shop A and ask for Rahul, you get the shop A's Rahul, not Rahul from the shop B, as you understand it. So variables in JavaScript behave the same way, depending on where you declare a variable. And where can this variable actually be used is called scope. So in this example, I have declared this variable outside both of this function, and this is known as the global scope. This variable is declared globally, means it can be used anywhere in your script. Now the second is the local scope. Let me write another example. Now you can see in this example, I have declared a variable inside this scope. So this it is a local variable. It is declared inside the local scope. So this variable can be accessible only inside this function. You cannot access this variable outside this function. So if I'll run this program, I have just written 2 line of program. If I'll call this function, calculate total. So what will be the output? 500. I just want to print, okay, see, I'm trying to print the total variable, and this variable is storing 500 as we already saw here. So let me comment this, and now I will run this. See, execute JavaScript failed, and what is the error? Total is not defined. Why it is showing not defined? Because I am trying to print or call the total variable outside this function, and it is very important concept, because in your script all of your variable you are not going to declare globally. If you have hundreds of variables need to be declared, and many of the variables has the same name, same value, that's why we will declare the variables locally, and we always do this. So let's see in this example. I'm going to explain the block scope. As you understood about what is global scope and local scope, what is global variable and local variable in the function, inside the function. But I have declared here at line number 3, you can see I have written if statement. This line number 4, 5, these are written inside this if block. I have declared a variable discount is equal to 10, and inside it I am printing console.log discount. At line number 8, I am also printing console.log discount, and if I run this code, you can see this 10 is coming from the line number 5, because we have used 2 console here. and it is not a function that you will call that function, then only it will run. It is an if statement and it's already true. So discount is not defined. The same variable I am printing at two places. So inside this block it is working fine, but outside the block it is throwing an error that discount is not defined. So same concept applies here also, similar to the function. The variable, if you will call outside the scope, it is not going to give you any value. So if you remember in the last video, I explained about the return keyword used in the function. So if you want to send the value outside of the function, you'll have to use the return keyword. With the help of return, you will send that message or you will send that value outside of your function, outside of that scope. You can send data from one function to another function. We already saw in the previous video. Let me write that example again and I will show you. As you can see, I have at line number 4, I have used the return total. Then let me capture this first in another value. I am giving the variable name final total is equal to calculate total. And then if I print console, if I print final total, then what do you think? What should be the answer? Let me run this. C500. Comment this C500. So by this way, you can send or you can return the data from outside of the function. So I hope you got it. What is global and local scope and what is global and local variable. You also saw what is the block scope. Now we are going to learn about the very important topic, that is self-invoke function. First, see the syntax of normal or conventional function, how we can write function. We write the first the function, then we write the function name. For example, I'm writing my username. Okay, then you give the parentheses, then you open the curly bracket, close the curly bracket, write some code inside it, and then outside this bracket you call the. Until now you saw function declaration in this way. Now what is self-invoke function? Here you will have to manually call the function. If at line number 6, if you run the program, if the function is not called, it is not going to execute. JavaScript will not execute your function, whether there are 100 lines of code written inside that block, but it is not going to run. You will have to call it manually somewhere in your program. As you know, this is very clear to you, I hope. So now what is self-invoke function? How you can write the self-invoke function? Entire thing you write inside a parenthesis. Now we'll start writing function, and after function start the parenthesis and then curly bracket. See, this is the function, self-invoke function syntax. You will write your code inside this. Okay, code to run. This expression will not execute automatically. If it is followed by a parenthesis, now it will execute automatically. You can see the difference between the declaration of these two functions. This is the conventional function and this is the self-invoke function. I have just commented this function and let me write the code. If I'll run this, welcome to GlideScript. It will automatically call itself. That's why it is known as self-invoke function. It will invoke by itself. It will execute automatically. Every day in your ServiceNow, you use self-invoke function in scripting. Let me go to the ServiceNow and let me open the business node. I'll click on the new. Just to show you, I'm not going to create business role. I'm not going to give any name or table, select any table. My focus is to show you this. It is written here. This is comment. So let me delete this. What is this current and previous? When we will learn the ServiceNow scripting, at that time I'll explain you. As of now, you can understand it. This is the parameters defined when declaring the function, and these are the arguments. Let me delete this. So now can you see this function? Then execute rule is the function name, parenthesis, curly bracket start, an entire function, as you can see, it is written inside a parenthesis and followed by a parenthesis. So every day in business rule, use this self-invoke function because you don't write any code to call the function to run the business rule. See, everything is same. Here I have not given the function name, I can give it. That's the thing I was trying to show you. The function is the self-invoke function in the business rule, all business rule. See here, I have written a simple example with the help of self-invoke function. I have declared a function. Inside this, I have declared three variables. And the first is the incident number, given the number. And the boolean is active is equal to true. And the short description, string value inside it. I am using the if condition here and checking is active is true and short description there is a value. It means it is not empty. So if it is true, JavaScript will enter inside this block and it will print console.log incident number, whatever it will be, plus ready for support team review. Else, for this hard-coded value, this hard-coded example, it will always run the if statement. It is a self-invoke function, so I don't have to call this function anywhere else. It will run automatically. Let me clear this and click on the run. See, the if block executed here and the output is incident is ready for support. It means this console.log is executed. So this is the example of the self-invoke function, and it is very important. The self-invoke function question will be asked in the CAD exam always. There will be a simple example given and it will ask you to what type of function or what type of script it is. It will give you few options. I saw this question in this CAD examination. So it is also important. So you'll have, whenever you will see this type of example, you can define the parameters and you can pass the argument. And later on in our training, I will definitely use the more complex example. If we'll take, we will pass the argument while calling this function or while using this self-invoke function. It is not different to other function that we cannot pass argument, we cannot define parameters. No, we can define parameters and pass the argument. This is the different way of writing the function, but it will work the same as previous ones. So in next part, I will try to wrap up the function topic. One more concept is still remaining, that is a callback function, and that callback function topic is also a very important topic. That's why I am keeping that topic in a separate day. Once the function topic will complete, the function chapter will complete, then I will give you some assignments based on the topics we covered until day 12 or day 13. So that's it for this video. Try to practice in your console, try to write the code by yourself. Then I will see you in the next video. Thank you.